po tayong capacity market na tinatawag. Ang ating pong electricity market, ang WESM natin ay hindi nagbibigay ng signal para sa mga investors magtayo ng power plant. Dahil ginaya natin itong market natin sa Australia at sa New Zealand na medyo maayos ang response ng private sector investors sa pagtatayo ng power plant. May kumpiyansa sila doon sa WESM outcome. In our case, parang hindi ko nakitang may kumpiyansa ang ating investors sa WESM. So ang solusyon dito ay yung market na katulad ng nasa UK na meron silang ang government ang nag-organize ng auction ng capacity at babayaran ng lahat ng consumers yung capacity na yon, at dahil nadidikta ng gobyerno kung kailan ho yung auction, then base sa plano dadating yung power plant at wala hong tinatawag na brownout at walang hearing sa Senado.
Are you sitting on and how long have you sat on it? Again, more supply, di ba? Huwag niyo pong sakalin yung supply. 50% of the electric power bill of our consumers are from generation cost. You want to harp on distribution, that's 20%. You want to harp on transmission, that's 4%. Why not harp on lowering the 50% of the bulk of what we are paying for by way of power? I don't get that. Quite frankly, I don't get that from DOE. And one last point, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, Senator Win. I will leave it at that. Actually, kawawa ang DOE at ang ERC dahil wala pong expertise talaga. And we are still in the process of developing that expertise and harnessing it. Our expertise come mostly from the private sector. In fact, the best evidence of that would be our own Secretary of Energy and Chairman of the ERC come both from the private sector. You need a certain level of competence and expertise for this. And most of the time, our information we get from the industry players. Wala namang sariling opinion talaga eh. We just rely on what they tell us. It is high time that the DOE and ERC develop its own core of people and experts. And it takes time. It does take time. Ma'am, I'm sure you've been offered, Yusek, a position in the private sector. The same is true with you, Asek Marasigan. Or a lucrative position is waiting for you when you retire. Dahil kasi mas mataas ang sweldo kaysa sa gobyerno eh. But we need you in government because there are very few people who actually understand the power industry who are in government right now. That's why we always call from the private sector. So kindly, while you're still there, develop. Let's pay for scholarships, let's pay for training, let's pay for studies to be done by our own people with the condition that they will stay in government for 5 or 10 years so they can help guide us. Hindi yung dependent tayo sa mga expert ng private sector, eh siyempre guguyuin tayo nun. Ang habol nila kita eh. Okay. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Sa DOE, just out of curiosity, saan ba galing yung lahat or karamihan ng mga planta natin? Saan ba na manufacture? Saang bansa po?
Iba-iba po, Madam Chair.
Saan yung karamihan?
Meron pong galing sa Europe, merong galing sa Japan, meron din galing sa China.
Okay.
Karamihan ba ng planta
May Korean
natin?
din pa po.
Karamihan ba ng planta natin galing sa Europe, galing sa US, galing sa China, o galing sa Korea? Yung karamihan sa nag-ooperate ngayon.
And then before you answer that, anong karamihan, and then siguro dito involved ko si Attorney Tisha, yung sinasabi mo 4 years old pa lang na planta na sira, sa anong region? Saan bansa?
Hindi ko po masasabi kung saan bansa, but it's
Pwede ba paki-research, pakisabi sa amin?
it's the
Okay.
SBPL coal plant by Meralco and the Masinloc 3 coal plant by San Miguel Corp, both 4 years old with 26 and 25 force
Ano pa rin mga
outages.
gamit na yon? Saan galing?
Hindi.
That we have to know from Meralco.
Mr. Chairman.
Meralco.
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Tisha is clearly advocating for clean power. That's why we have this data. But Attorney Tisha, I will give you a list of all the plants that had unplanned outages. All, the universe, not just what you tested. All the plants that had unplanned and planned outages for the past 3 years. I'll have it photocopied and sent to you. But Mr. Chairman, just to clarify from Director San, you don't have penalties for an unplanned shutdown because the resolution you gave me, 10-20 series of 2020, Yes, it talks about reliability, but it does not make mention of fines and penalties. And it only lists 18 plants.
Okay.
And number 3, kung ang pinagbabasihan nyo ay non-reporting, non-compliance, non-submission, and that was only done in 2009. So before that, wala. At kung yun talaga ang basis nyo, 2020, na wala akong nakikitang fines, for unplanned outage.
Okay, and pakipaliwanag ng Director Sharon, yung 60 million na sabi niyong na ipato niyo ng fines doon sa mga planta, para saan yun?
Your Honors, the 60 million imposed was on violation of the reliability indices. So in the annex to that resolution, Your Honors, there's a number of days allowed na planned and unplanned
I see it.
outages.
I have it.
Opo.
But it doesn't have amounts.
Your Honors, we have rules on the imposition of fines and penalties, and rules for this. We'll just give it to you, Your Honors. But the process actually is after end of the year, na-account na po namin lahat ng outages nila. And if they exceed the number of allowed outages, then they are issued an order to explain po.
Ma'am, sorry. I cannot let go of this, Mr. Chairman. Sorry. You came out with a resolution 10-2020. Tapos yung penalty nasa ibang resolution pa. And number 2, why not include it in the same resolution? And number 2, this resolution covers only 18 plants. And in your reliability index, it does not include a single renewable power plant. Ba't tayo namimili ng, alam mo yun, and we saw the list. Merong renewable na nagbabag down, so hindi nakasama yun sa i-penalize natin sa unplanned. Because in your list, in your table, ma'am, I have it. In your table, it doesn't include a single renewable. Why?
Your Honors, when we came out with that, we gathered, that's a 5-year data po when we set the reliability indices. Now, we also came up with Resolution number 13, series of 2021, requiring all these variable renewable energy to submit reports to us because we want to collect data so we can also set the reliability indices.
Mr. Chairman, you see the problem now. They rely on the data being submitted by the power producers and they don't, again, i-installment nyo kami? So before 2020, walang penalty ang unplanned shutdown. Pagbabayaran na lang namin yun sa brownout, lugi negosyo. After 2020, you came out with a regulation despite the fact that EPIRA is decades old. You came out with a regulation but it only covers 18 plants. Most of which are fossil fuel based. It's not even covering all plants. And covering none of the renewables. Paano naman po tayo mag-move forward? Ano encouragement ng mga renewable mo na mag-ayos ng mga planta na hindi mag-unplanned shutdown? And remember, hydro is included as renewable. Again, please catch up. Please catch up with what's happening all around you. It cannot be. And as a final point, Mr. Chairman, it's been 1 month since the April 16 brownouts. Today is March 14. May 31 yung April. To be issued pa lang ang show cause order. At ang binanggit nyo po, show cause pa nga lang to. Pag wag naman, isang buwan nang nangyari yung yellow at red alert, magsushow cause order pa lang kayo. It cannot be that slow. It cannot be that slow.
And
Thank
also,
you, Mr. Chairman.
pakisagot, Director Sharon, bakit, tulad ng tanong kanina ni Senator Cheese, bakit sa renewable wala kayong ginagawang monitoring, wala kayong ipinapato na sanctions doon sa mga nag-violate? Kasi kung ganun, selective pala kayo, ini-exclude nyo yung mga taga-RE.
Your Honors, first on the 18 plants in the RESO, those are the only GENCOs that submitted comments, but the resolution is applicable to all po.
All, including REs.
Not including RE. The only RE included
Bakit not
there, Your
including
Honors.
Why not? Why did you exclude RE?
Ang excluded lang po dyan po are the variable RE, which is solar and wind, because we don't have data on it pa. But we already gathered data from 2021 up to now for us to determine the reliability indices. So meron naman pong na-issuing resolution to gather the data, to start gathering the data to set the reliability indices. Kasi medyo bago po kasi sila.
Again, Mr. Chairman, I submit, but kindly work faster and catch up with what's happening around us. You're encouraging REs. You're encouraging VREs. You're shutting down most of the fossil fuel applications, and yet you're not ready to handle VREs. Di ba? Kawawa naman tayo. Parang hindi kayo nag-uusap. Policy-wise, you're pushing for VREs. And then yung regulatory regime, hindi nakakahabol. It cannot be that way. It cannot remain that way, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Salamat, Chair.
Unless kung walang questions si Senator Win Gatchalian, we'll go to Senator Cheese Cordero. Okay, Senator Cheese.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to follow up on the question of the chairman, to clarify, Director Sharon, ma'am, you don't have people who regularly inspect the power plants, right?
None, Your Honor.
As you said, you do desk maintenance, which is you require the power plants to submit a report on the condition of their plants.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, it's good if they will declare against their interests and say that there's something wrong with their plant. They usually don't. So they will say everything is good and dandy. These are private corporations that are for profit, which is admittedly, pinrivatize nga natin eh. So tinatanggap natin na yung mga kumpanya to gustong kumita. Ngayon, kung kailangan palitan yung filter, kulang pa yung budget eh. Nagtitipid yung kumpanya. Linisin na lang muna natin. You won't even know about that, right? Because you're dependent on their submissions. Even what you said kanina na every 5 years, you require them to submit. But nobody actually from ERC or even DOE goes to the plant who understands the plant and will be able to see and say, ba't hindi nyo pinaltan to? Di ba dapat pinaltan na to 2 years ago? Nobody is competent in both ERC and DOE and does that actually, right?
Yes, Your Honors, and limited yung staff to do it.
No, whether limited, but nobody does it. Even DOE, right? Yusek, you don't do that too.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, next,
Makasingit lang
yes,
Senator
yes,
Cheese.
yes, of course.
So, alam niyo pala na matagal na yung problemang ito na hindi kayo gumagawa ng regular inspection sa mga planta. Bakit di niyo ginawa ng aksyon? Ngayon na alam na natin lahat, ano yung plano? What are your future plans? Would you continue with this system na kung ano lang sasabihin ng planta, magpapadala lang sa inyo ng sulat or letter specifying na okay yung planta namin, it's in good condition at wala pala kayong mga expert na nag-inspection sa mga planta who can really say whether or not the plant is in good condition or not? Now, what are your plans? Anong plano? Anong game plan?
On the part of the market operations, Your Honors, just late last year, we have formed an ad hoc team to monitor these GenCos. So, merong desk monitoring, meron din on the outages and to determine the
Desk
reliability
monitoring?
of plants.
From the desk, from the air conditioned room of the officer or inspector doing it? Remote? No, what I'm trying to say here, is someone, an expert sa mga planta would go there physically and inspect. Nakikita niya sa mata niya, mata to mata, yung sitwasyon ng planta, ng mga pyesa, kung tama pa yung pag-aandar, wag yung sa desk. Desk means nothing. It's BS.
Your Honors, just to clarify po, the team doing the desk monitoring is to monitor the financials and the market share limitation. They do desk monitoring.
Okay.
The grid compliance section who conducted this investigation, they were spinned off from the licensing team po. So tinry po namin to para mas maano yung monitoring ng GenCos. So we're trying to build up that team. So right now po, the one heading it, the section head, Engineer Mark, who conducted this investigation, has a contract of service under him na tinitrain po niya for now po.
So meron kayong technical team
meron
na
po,
pumupunta
Your
doon sa
Honors.
planta physically
Yes
at
po.
tinitingnan yung libro, tapos tinitingnan yung logbook, tinitingnan yung operation manual, kung tumutugma ba yung pagpapatakbo ng planta, etc. etc. Merong ganon? Wala. Sabi ko kasi every 5 years or every
Meron
once in
Your
5 years.
Honors, but only sa ngayon, sinimulan nila since last year yung mga inspection, but they were able to cover pa lang muna those on prolonged outage po. But we will try to increase yung and plan out for inspection of the rest of the plants.
Go
But
ahead, Senator
it
Cheese.
was already split off from the licensing, Your Honors, and we'll try to um, increase the capacity of that team.
Now, this is very important, Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, because the April 16 incident, correct me if I'm wrong, you can confirm or deny my figures. I counted it manually. For the date April 16, there were only 8 planned outages. And there were 35 unplanned outages. I can go to the megawatts and the number of plants too if you want, but I'm only counting the number of units na unplanned nag-shut down. I can proceed. That's in Luzon. In Visayas, there were 48 unplanned outages. In Mindanao, there were 10, and I'm only talking of April 16. I can summarize, Mr. Chairman, insofar as the count of unplanned and planned outages is concerned. On April 16, planned outages were supposed to be only 8. Ang forced outages was 28. April 17, 8 din dapat yung planned outage, meaning yung pinagbigay ka ng abiso na ito yung kailangan naming i-out muna sa grid, hindi kami makakapag-supply. 27 ang unplanned. April 18, 7 lang dapat ang planned. 26 ang unplanned. Sorry, if I count the maintenance which is unplanned, plus 2 din yun. Plus 2 pa yun sa lahat, ha? Let's look at May 6. 6 lang ang dapat na planned outage. 16 ang forced. 3 ang maintenance na unplanned. So total of 19 unplanned. Does not this highlight, Director Sharon, Yusek Guevara, the fact that you should monitor the plants more closely because we have more unplanned outages than we do planned outages? Now, I have the specific reasons to hear why. But these are all based on the submission of the plant itself. Actually, wala kayong kamuang-muang. You don't have eyes, you don't have ears, you don't have feet and warm hands on the ground to find out kung ang sinasabi ba talaga nilang rason, totoo o hindi. And my problem is, you will decide based on their submission and their submission alone kung i-impose nyo ba sila ng fine dahil hindi inaalagaan yung planta. There is such a resolution, Mr. Chairman, resolution number 03-209, stating na pag yung hindi planado, yung forced outage, hindi force majeure, then paparusahan sila. First violation, second violation, third violation. I will ask you later, kami napatawan na nga ba kayo ng parusa dahil tingin ko, kung ganito kadalas yung unplanned, I'm only talking of the period between April 16 to May 6, ha? And I have the yearly average too. Saan yung fine man lang para ma-discourage itong mga plantang to? Tandaan mo, negosyo to. Kung hindi nag-ooperate yung planta, hindi sila kikita. Pero baka naman mamaya kasi nagtitipid yung may-ari. Yung sa baba, tinatago yung sira. Tinatago nila yung kapalpakan nila. I don't know. But the point is, on a daily basis, Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, we have more daily unplanned outages, meaning hindi in-inform ang DOE, hindi in-inform ang systems operator, hindi in-inform ang ERC, talagang pinapatay na lang. Minsan ang notice, as Senator Risa said, 1 day, minsan 1 week dahil kaya pa naman. Minsan immediately kasi nagtitrip na lang. Is that a correct assessment of our situation right now? I don't know who can answer, Director Sharon or Director Guevara.
I think the DOE would like to answer your question, Senator Cheese. Go ahead, Dr. Guevara.
please.
Ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honors. First of all, in our first slide, we showed you that this is a very strange weather that we're having. That the temperature index, the heat index was really very high. And it has affected many of the plant's operations.
I'm sorry, Mama. It should only affect hydro dahil walang tubig. Why all the rest?
Yes,
Why
sir.
will it affect coal? Why will it affect wind? Why will it affect solar? In fact, it should be better for solar. So you're just
Yes,
talking
sir.
of hydro, ma'am.
Sir, for solar, for example, scientific papers have already shown that if the temperature is more than the normal operating temperature, the efficiency of solar panels actually go down. Meron po tayong mga scientific, and we can send you copies of these papers.
Ma'am,
And
don't
then
send it to me. Read it yourself because you're still pushing for solar and other renewables. In fact, the dependable capacity of solar is only at 25%, and you still need baseload to hold that energy into the grid. Correct me if I'm wrong, you need 0.2 of every 1 megawatt of solar to bring it to the grid of baseload. So no need to furnish the committee, ma'am. Please proceed, ma'am.
And then also, the thermal plants are also having problems when the temperatures are high. We have representatives here from the power generation plants who can explain to you the exact nature of that deficiency or problem when the temperatures are high. And so, because of this high heat index, as explained by Pag-asa to us, the operations of the plants are affected. Now, as to what we are trying to do now to solve partly the problem, we have started formulating a policy called coster's pay, such that we would be able to discourage economic shutdowns of plants for power plants, and then that they will make sure that they maintain their plants so that they will not incur any of the penalties under coster's pay. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, forgive me for contesting the data and statement or answer of Undersecretary Guevara because hindi lang naman yung init ngayon na may kasalanan. I'll give you some data for the record, Mr. Chairman. For the period 2020 until 2023, in Luzon, there was supposed to be only 594 planned outages. Unplanned outages, including forced and maintenance, 4,683 events of unplanned outages. That's only Luzon. In Visayas, 7,000 as against 94 planned outages. In Mindanao, 238 against unplanned outages. Now let's look at 2020. Hindi pa naman kasing init ngayon ng 2020 siguro eh. 53 planned outages, and we had a total of 609 unplanned outages in Luzon. For Visayas, 12 planned outages, 2,081 incidents or events of unplanned outages in Visayas. In Mindanao, 28 planned outages and 111 unplanned outages or events na unplanned outage. It can be for an hour or 2 or 1 day, extended, or nag-extend yung maintenance, magiging unplanned na po yun, di ba? So, it's not the heat. Ang problema ko kasi, let's be realistic, and I'm not laying all the blame on you. Kulang yung supply. So, pagdating ng August, paglapit sa inyo ng mga planta, ito yung kailangan naming maintenance, ito yung kailangan naming outages for this year, for next year. Ang DOE at ang systems operator, makikipagtawaran sa kanila. Correct me if this is not happening. No, wag naman sa summer, as you said earlier, Yusek Guevara, right? Wag naman sa summer, mataas yung demand natin, manipis. Di ba? Kailangan yun talaga yung schedule eh. Wag naman. O iklian mo na lang. Or may planned outage talaga sila, dapat sana, let's say, February. Wag naman kasi manipis, may naka-planned outage na dyan eh. Iurong nyo naman sa gantong petsa. It's a question of negotiation, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I accurate, Yusek Guevara? Does that happen?
Yes, it can happen.
Until finally, you agree on a schedule of planned outages. Medyo napilitan ng konti yung planta, baka naman maluwag sa kalooban, hindi ko na alam. Hindi na po natin alam, di ba? Now, you will come up with a schedule of planned outages for the succeeding year, come November or October. Is that correct? But as you see from the data, since 2020, ma'am, halos 10% lang yung planned. 90% unplanned. Then there must be something wrong. Huwag niyo sabihin force majeure lahat yun. And correct me if I'm wrong too. You schedule the maintenance of hydro plants as a rule during summer months dahil mahina rin naman yung tubig. Konting turbina lang naman, hindi naman lahat ang umaandar. I-schedule nyo na ng summer yan. So even the statement that usually you avoid summer months for maintenance is not accurate insofar as hydropower plants is concerned. That's the best time to do maintenance work. Plant shutdown for hydro because kulang din naman yung tubig eh. Is that correct, Yusek or Asek Marasigan? You might be in a better position to answer actually, Asek Marasigan.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair and the Honorable Senator. Yes, we do not allow the conduct of preventive maintenance services of all conventional and other technologies during summer period. And it is also indicated in our grid and operating maintenance program policy that only hydropower generations are allowed to conduct maintenance during summer.
Which is correct. Kasi kulang din naman yung tubig, di ba? Hindi naman nag-ooperate lahat ng turbina. Bakit hindi? That is correct, right? Now, again, going back to the issue, you need a team of experts, Director Sharon, also the DOE, Yuse Guevara. Experts na nakakaintindi dahil hindi naman iisang klase lang yung planta eh. Hindi naman yan parang kotse na sedan, SUV, van. Na ganun lang yung classification, pare-pareho na siya. Iba ang Hyundai, iba ang Nissan, iba ang Toyota, so iba ang solar, iba ang wind, iba ang coal, iba yung clean coal, what have you. Different brands pa. Hindi po ba? We know the specs when they applied. But after the fact, wala na po tayong monitoring eh. In fact, your computation of available capacity is based on the rated capacity of the plant when they were installed. Is there even an agency or an office that actually rates the available power being supplied by each power plant as of today? Some are 5 years old, some are 3 years old, some are 15 years old, some are 20 years old. May ganun po ba tayo? Meron po. So, yung dependable capacity. Pero yung dependable capacity po, depende po yun sa kaya nila, depende kung nag-maintenance sila, nagawa na uli, nung planta. But I'm asking, the actual plant, yung dating 1,300 megawatts, ilan na lang talaga siya ngayon? Hindi dahil may minimaintain ha, yun talaga ang kaya niya. May ganun po ba tayo? Please. Yes, Asik Marisigan.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable Senator. Yes, our system operator conducts test and commissioning and determines the actual availability of these power plants. Although this is not on a regular basis, but there are instances that we call on the system operator to determine the actual availability.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not talking about the system operator. I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about DOE.
No. Yeah.
No, they don't know it, Mr. Chairman. Actually, walang ganong mechanism eh. Kinukuha yung data galing sa SO, but the SO needs it on a minute per minute, second per second basis actually eh. So you average yun. So how do you even have rules how to average the dependable capacity of a plant for a given year or the previous year? Is it regularly asked for by the DOE? And do you plot it? Because to my mind, how do you know how many megawatts we need given our economic growth, given higher demand, given the increased heat? How can you project kung ilan yung kailangan natin year on year, knowing too that it takes at least 5 years to construct a plant and commission a plant? How will you know what the demand is if you don't know this? So SO, kailangan nyo talaga yun to maintain the stability of the grid. But on the part of DOE, your policy making, you should know this. So that you know too, and I will go to that point later, gaano kabilis ba tayo dapat mag-approve ng application sa bagong planta? Lilimitahan pa ba natin ang greenfield coal? Papayagan na ba natin? O puro tayo renewable lang? Right? You should know it. Next point, Mr. Chairman.
No, kasi
please.
Senator Cheese, tango lang ng tango si Asik Marasigan, parang agree ka sa lahat ng mga sinasabi ni Sanchez and you don't even want to say anything or come up with your own opinion pertaining to the questions. Now, sisingit ako ng katanungan. Sabi niyo, policy making nga talaga kayo. So wala ba kayong mga policy experts tungkol doon sa mga pinanggagawa niyo na para gagawa ng assessment patungkol doon sa mga plano na ginagawa ng DOE? Do you have this team of experts that tells you what are the good policies and what are not? Na yung mga hindi maganda, wag natin i-adapt. Yung maganda, ipagpatuloy natin. At dapat meron tayong mga babaguhin, etc. Do you have those?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for the question. Yes, we have our Energy Policy and Planning Bureau that also reassess and review our policies.
And how often do they do that review?
I'm not just sure how often, but it's being conducted regularly. the efficiency in implementing the policies are of course measured.
Okay, so yung sabi mo mga policy experts na gumagawa ng monitoring, after na makagawa sila monitoring, makagawa silang kanilang opinion, kanino sinasubmit yan at sino ang gumagawa ng course of action after that result of their assessment being made.
Well, if I may, Mr. Chair, of course, the Energy Policy and Planning Bureau consults with the concerned unit that implements the particular
And who are
policy.
those concerned unit? Isa lang. And then si yung vice chairman ko sa committee na ito, si Senator Win. Na-mention mo yung reliability, ano po? And that's very important to me, especially sa 2025, the year of the election. So can we rely on you guys na sa 2025, especially during the election period, sa election day itself, na hindi tayo magkaka-brown out? Maasahan pa rin ba namin kayo sa inyong statement? Kasi back in February of this year, you did say na hindi tayo magkakaroon ng power supply issue. Sinabi niyo yan. Walang problema. Hindi tayo magkaka-brownout. Kaya natin yung El Nino, etc. etc. Then pagdating ng April, ayun na, nagkakaproblema tayo. So ano may gagaranting, may bibigyan yung guarantee sa 2025, especially sa election period na hindi tayo abusuin ng mga brownouts na ito?
Thank you very much po, Senator, for that question. Doon po sa nakalatag na mga planta na they are supposed to come in this year, ang total more than 4,000 megawatts po ang papasok. 2,000 plus po doon ay conventional, 1,900 plus is renewable. Pag kinumpute mo yung gigawatt hours po nila, it will be an 18% increase compared to the 2022 values. Ang ating pong increase in growth is about 6% per year. So hanggang sa 2026 po actually, covered po yung growth rate natin with the plants that are coming in just this year. So next year po may mga papasok pa pong planta. Yung pinakita kanina po ni Director Ice, yung tinatawag nating committed, yung nagko-construct na o kaya meron na silang date of commercialization. Pero may mga iba po na medyo nahuhuli sila sa application, pero actually halos ready na po silang pumasok. So diyan po kami nagpapasalamat kunyari sa NGCP. Dati po 1.5 years ang wait time for the SIS. Pero ngayon po ang wait time nila ay 2 months na lang po. At saka pinagbigyan po nila lahat ng mga green energy auction winners po natin na unahin na yung mga SIS nila kasi may deadline po sila ng commissioning. So yung question niyo po kung next year meron na po itong mga planta na ito, binabantayan po talaga namin yung mga papasok po this year. And we pave the way for them, whether it is at the LGU level, sa NGCP, sa ibang national government agencies for permits or licenses, we try to pave the way for them such that wala na pong rason na hindi sila makaka-operate within the date that they promised us.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Guevara. Ngayon naman, let's hear questions from the Vice Chairman of this committee,
Thank you.
Senator Win
Thank you, Mr.
Gatchalian.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'll build on the comments and questions of our colleagues. I was looking at the yung installed and dependable capacity natin. For 2022, ang for 2022 ang installed is 28,000. I'll just round it off, tama, Asek Mario. And then for for dependable capacity is 23,000. Ang peak demand natin is 16,000. So meron tayong excess about 7,000. No, that's for 2022. I don't have the 2023 figures, but looking at that, it looks comfortable that we have excess of 7,000. How do you define dependable capacity? How do you define dependable capacity? How do you define installed? How do you define dependable capacity? Yusek Guevara or Asek, anyone from DOE? Sige, go ahead.
Sir, pag sinabing installed capacity, ito po yung nakamark doon sa makina mismo. Pag bagong install po siya. Ngayon, as time goes by, bumababa po yung kanyang capacity.
Mm-mm.
Kunyari, kahit na maintain naman siya properly, nag-age po talaga yung mga iba't ibang parts ng makina. So yung dependable capacity, yan yung pag kinol siya ng system operator, yan yung dapat niyang kayang i-provide.
So yung installed yung nameplate, diba? And then yung dependable, how do you compute that? Do you account for planned outages? How do you account?
Your Honor, meron pong test na kinokondak ang NGCP. Tapos doon malalaman kung hanggang saan po yung kaya ng planta.
You are correct, Senator Win. Ma'am, unplanned nga eh. Pag sinabi mong dependable, nag-unplanned siya, hindi na po dependable. Yun, di ba, pag tinawag siya ng NGCP, 9:41 AM. Di ba, yun ang sasabihin mong dependable. Pero kung nag-unplanned shutdown nga siya, again 9 out of 10 outages and shutdowns in the country for the past 3 years are unplanned. Only 1 out of 10 are planned. So how can you base the definition of dependable on yung pinoprovide niya at one time? I-average nyo man lang siguro, di ba? Kasi kung nag-shutdown siya, i-average nyo man lang. Hindi pwedeng, we will never get an accurate picture if that is the case. I hope I added to the question of Senator Sir.
And also what Senator Cheese pointed out. No? I was looking at the breakdown. Like for example po, sa solar, ang installed niya is 1.5. Ang dependable niya is 1.1. No? Sa wind, 427. Ang dependable niya is 412. But we all know that solar, ang dependable niya is only 20%. Correct? Ang wind is also the same. So in other words, why are we counting almost 90% of the capacity of solar? Well, in fact, we well know that it's only 20% ang capacity factor. Nawala kaagad if you remove the 80%, mawawala 1,000 megawatts kaagad eh. In 7,000 na margin mo, mababawasan kaagad ng 1,000. Diba? Yung 400 mo, mababawasan kaagad ng almost 300. So my point is, the margin of 7,000 is not the real margin. Mas mababa pa siya because of all of this variable RE. So we're giving false information because the real margin doesn't take the margin that we are saying doesn't take into consideration the capacity factor. The real margin is way below the capacity, the actual margin that is projected. Can you comment on that? Kasi naririnig ko parate, ang laki ng margin natin, 7,000. No? Ano tayo? Wag tayong matakot. In fact, DOE came out with there's a press con nga eh, and I think everyone was happy to hear this, on March 3 and April 11 of this year, that DOE assured the public that there will be no red alerts. I think that was a exciting moment for all of us. But then again, nangyari na ito, and if you break down the numbers, because the basis of that announcement is that 7,000 plus eh. But if taking the capacity factor, it's not 7,000, it's way below than 7,000. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you very much, Senator Win, for that question. Many people only look at the megawatts that we report. Meron pong pangalawang table, usually in Philippine Energy Plan, yung megawatt hours, which is the real McCoy, kasi yun ang binibilang po namin. So when I mentioned kanina that we have 2,000 megawatts coming in conventional and 1,900 plus coming in solar, we did the computation for gigawatt hours. Yung pong ni-report kong 18%, that is based on a capacity factor of 0.16 for the solar. So when we compute yung 0.16 po, sir. So when we compute the availability for generation, we compute in gigawatt hours. Although we report also the capacity, which is the megawatts. But we do compute, pagka nagko-compute na po talaga kami nung demand and supply, we look at the gigawatt hours po. So yung pong tanong niyo po kanina, sir, about ano ba yung kanyang dependable capacity, iba po yung availability po. Iba po yung bilang namin. Thank you, sir.
Senator Win, let me complicate it a bit more for them and for your computation too. Again, for every megawatt of solar, you need an equivalent of base load to put that in. If I'm not mistaken, 0.2. So, kada magdadagdag ka ng solar, kailangan mo pa rin ng added capacity na bubunutin mo sa base load mo para mahila yung renewable na yon. Are you factoring? So in other words, the demand will increase. Doon sa sinasabi niyo bang computation na 0.16, in-offset niyo na po yon or hindi pa?
Yung pong pag-offset po nung ating mga renewables, medyo meron pong lumped version po, ano? Doon sa lumped version natin, kasi alam naman natin na solar, magaling siya mag-operate pag may araw. Pag gabi, wala na siya eh. So in fact, the system operator came up with, dito dapat magkaroon ng mga batteries. Kasi kailangan po talagang i-strengthen yung current grid natin dahil hindi po siya naka-ready talaga for renewables. So in fact, kahit sa Department of Energy, may upcoming green energy auction kami, number 4, within the year. Yung natira naming 8,200 megawatts last year, ang aming papabid ngayon ay renewable energy plus energy storage system. Kasi nga, pag nagdagdag ka na naman ng renewable, tama po si Senator Chis, may panghatak dapat yan eh. Hindi naman bigla pagka wala ng araw, wala na rin tayong energy consumption. So the batteries are going to not only help with maintaining the output of the plant na hindi siya masyadong variable, makakatulong din po sa grid. Kasi kung kunyari 100 megawatts yung solar mo, dapat ang transmission line mo 100 megawatts din. Pero kung magcha-charge siya ng battery or ng other energy storage system, pwedeng mas bababa yung capacity na required for the transmission line. So we're also doing that, Senator. Yes.
And I thought we wanted to lower the cost of electricity, Mr. Chairman. We are not headed towards a regime of lower electricity. We are headed towards a regime of clean power, but expensive power. And this is a clear example. Yung binid out nilang battery, again, it's the same source. It's the same solar panel. Pero kaya nga ang tawag ng DOE, Senator Win, is VRE. What does VRE stand for, ma'am? With emphasis on the word variable. Hindi sa reliable eh. Kaya hindi sa pwede maging base load eh. That's why you need all of these things which will further increase the cost of power. Now, as a policy, why are you doing that? Nakikisabay tayo sa Green Post Worldwide na the Philippines' contribution to carbon emissions worldwide is 0.03. Between China and the US is about 50%. And we're the ones who are keen on doing this, and China and the US are not even budging? Tayo yung nanggigigil magbawas dahil kahit 0.03 lang tayo, kahit magastos yung kuryente? Are we there? Is that, nakikisabay lang ba tayo? Or are we being pressured by our Western allies to do this? Are they making money only available for this? But DOE has a policy prohibiting greenfield coal-fired power plants, the processing of those. Di ba dapat buksan? I will end, Senator Sherwin, with this. Law of supply and demand. Pag madaming supply ng kuryente, mapipilitan sa CSP magbid ng mababa yung mga power plant para makita sila kahit paano. Why are you limiting entrance to the energy sector? I'm talking about power generation to only 25% reserve, to only 18% reserve. What do I care if it's 100% reserve, 200% reserve? Ibig sabihin mababa ang presyo ng kuryente natin. I don't understand that. Let the industry decide. May ECC naman yan bago yan maaprubahan So let the industry decide. Ba't natin pinipigilan? And speaking of that, kindly submit, I won't belabor the point, kindly submit to this committee how many pending applications for new generation capacity are pending both before the ERC and the DOE, especially with respect to the CSP. Kasi siyempre gusto nila ng offtake, di ba? Karamihan naman ang gustong gumawa ng planta, gusto ng offtake in 2028, 2027, di ba? All of these have to be approved by ERC. I would like to know, Director Sharon, kindly submit to us, how many pending applications for offtake agreements are pending before the ERC? How many are you sitting on and how long have you sat on it? Again, more supply, di ba? Huwag niyo pong sakalin yung supply. 50% of the electric power bill of our consumers are from generation cost. You want to harp on distribution, that's 20%. You want to harp on transmission, that's 4%. Why not harp on lowering the 50% of the bulk of what we are paying for by way of power? I don't get that. Quite frankly, I don't get that from DOE. And one last point, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, Senator Win. I will leave it at that. Actually, kawawa ang DOE at ang ERC dahil wala pong expertise talaga. And we are still in the process of developing that expertise and harnessing it. Our expertise come mostly from the private sector. In fact, the best evidence of that would be our own Secretary of Energy and Chairman of the ERC come both from the private sector. You need a certain level of competence and expertise for this. And most of the time, our information we get from the industry players. Wala namang sariling opinion talaga eh. We just rely on what they tell us. It is high time that the DOE and ERC develop its own core of people and experts. And it takes time. It does take time. Ma'am, I'm sure you've been offered, Yusek, a position in the private sector. The same is true with you, Asek Marasigan. Or a lucrative position is waiting for you when you retire. Dahil kasi mas mataas ang sweldo kaysa sa gobyerno eh. But we need you in government because there are very few people who actually understand the power industry who are in government right now. That's why we always call from the private sector. So kindly, while you're still there, develop. Let's pay for scholarships. Let's pay for training. Let's pay for studies to be done by our own people with the condition that they will stay in government for 5 or 10 years so they can help guide us. Hindi yung dependent tayo sa mga expert ng private sector, eh siyempre gogoyoin tayo nun. Ang habol nila kita eh.
Okay.
I submit, Mr. Chairman. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Thank you. Anybody from Transco would like to answer the question of Senator
Or
Riza?
natanong ko sila kanina baka sila at saka si Professor Del Mundo.
Yeah,
on
Professor
LLP.
Del Mundo. Would you like to answer the
Okay,
question of
salamat,
Senator
Mr.
Riza,
Chair.
please, sir?
Yung po kasing pinag-uusapan natin mga plant outages, probabilistic ang nature. Like sinasabi natin, yung force outage or yung unplanned maintenance outage, wala naman ho nakakapag-predict niya na gagawing i-schedule. Kaya probabilistic approach lang o methodology ang pwedeng gamitin para tayo makasigurado na masagot yung tanong, ilan bang capacity ng power plant ang kailangan natin para hindi tayo nasa Senado nag-hearing. So, yun po yung importansya ng loss of load probability. At yung pong paggamit niyan ay makaka-capture niya pati ho yung variability ng renewable energy. Meaning, yung pong pagiging variable ng solar, ng wind, mamomodel po din yan at yung probability kung kailan sa available at hindi, nagagamit para humasagot yung tanong, sige, kung ganyan ang probability ng outages at ang variability ng renewable energy, ilang capacity ang kailangan natin kasi ang demand natin ngayon ay ganitong amount. So, sa planning, dapat po ay at least 5 to 10 years ahead of time, alam mo na kung ano ang or na-forecast mo na yung demand mo at yung demand na yon, sinabi mo na ngayon, ganitong capacity kakailangan ko in the future. Kasi today, dapat ay magtayo na ng mga power plant dahil 5 to 10 years din ang lead time ng pag-construct ng power plant. So kung ang LOLP ay gagamitin natin ngayon para dun sa anong naging LOLP ngayon, then hindi rin natin masosolve yung ating problema. Kailangan daw ilagay yan doon sa power development planning. At idadagdag ko ho, yung nasabi ni Yusek Geb kanina, ang sa aking pananaw ho, talagang problema natin ay dahil kahit meron kang power development plan, hindi nagiging power plant kasi wala ho tayong capacity market na tinatawag. Ang ating pong electricity market, ang WESM natin ay hindi nagbibigay ng signal para sa mga investors magtayo ng power plant. Dahil ginaya natin itong market natin sa Australia at sa New Zealand na medyo maayos so ang response ng private sector investors sa pagtatayo ng power plant. May kumpiyansa sila doon sa WESM outcome. In our case, parang hindi ko nakitang may kumpiyansa ang ating investors sa WESM. So ang solusyon ho dito ay yung market na katulad ng nasa UK na meron silang ang government ang nag-organize ng auction ng capacity at babayaran ng lahat ng consumers yung capacity na yon, at dahil nadidikta ng gobyerno kung kailan ho yung auction, then base sa plano dadating yung power plant at wala hong tinatawag na brownout at walang hearing sa Senado.
Thank you very much for
Salamat.
that.
Mr. Chair, last point na lang po kay
Sige
Dr.
po.
So Professor Del Mundo, wini-welcome nyo yung sinabi ng DOE kanina na maaring magdagdag na sila or tuluyang iwanan yung 25% reserves, sapat na, at pag-aralan ulit yung loss of load probability and valuation, pati yung capacity market. At nagko-concur ba kayo dun sa sinabi ng Transco kanina na actually kailangan natin ng dagdag na 900 megawatts pa na ma-generate?
Actually, noong pa hong 2019, nung nagkaroon ng presentation ng Transco, I was Vice President then. I represented Transco during the hearing, na determine na ho ng Transco noon na kung meron lang tayo at that time 900 megawatt na power plant in addition to what was existing then, wala ho tayong hearing.
Okay.
Salamat,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair. Salamat, Professor.
But before I suspend this hearing, Senator Cheese came back because he said he would like to admonish someone in this.
Just
He did say that.
just
admonish. Or
to
what?
remind someone.
Remind. Okay, go ahead.
Um,
You may have the floor, Senator.
Thank you. Number one, I'm sure we don't have what you're saying, Professor. The DOE does not have that right now. Number two, forget about the 25% reserve. It can be 200% reserve for all I care. Again, supply and demand. The more supply, the cheaper power costs will be. Sino ba nagsabing 25? Ba't hindi 30? Ba't hindi 40? Ba't hindi 50? Third point, meron tayong 3 CSP for ancillary services that are still pending with ERC. That's why we can complete it. So yung tanong ni Senator Sherwin kanina, pending sa ERC. And fourth point, Mr. Chairman, we required ancillary services for good cause para may reserve power nga naman. But this is a take or pay provision, right? Whether gamitin o hindi, babayaran. Di ba? Kinalimutan na natin ang take or pay nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Ramos, di ba? Nung nag-IPP tayo, Integrated Power PPP tayo, Power Purchase Agreements. Ngayon, bumabalik na naman tayo unti-unti sa take or pay regime na ginamit natin kay hindi, babayaran natin. To cite an example for the record, Mr. Chairman, the ancillary services varies from 1% to 4% of your bill. Again, ulitin ko, depende sa buwan. Ulitin ko, gusto po natin pababain yung kuryente? Ito ba yung solusyon talaga na magte-take or pay tayo uli? Tulad nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Ramos, na kahit hindi natin kailangan o ginagamit yung kuryente, binabayaran natin? And yet we still have yellow alerts. We still have red alerts. I don't get it. Can we concentrate on lowering power costs and try to address other concerns and issues along the way? But the main objective, which is not even in the medium-term development plan or even the power, the energy plan of the Philippines, na ang target namin by 2030, ito na yung presyo ng kuryente. Wala. Ang nakalagay doon, renewable tayo. Ang nakalagay doon, marami na tayong supply. Nothing. It does not speak of affordable power costs. CSP is good. But how many of our contracts with DUs have CSPs already? This was started only about 5 years ago. Di ba, ba't ngayon lang naisipan na mag-CSP? Dati nag-uusap lang yung power plant, power generation company at saka distribution utility. Nagkokonsyabahan sila kung magkano i-charge sa atin. No penalties about that. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, sorry for the frustration. I'm sure our officials from DOE and ERC are more frustrated than I am insofar as these issues are concerned. And I hope they can come back to us with a solution to these concerns and problems. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.